Hello, this is Siri and you're listening to my favorite podcast, Not Real Art. I live for this shit cause it's totally lit.
Let's go!
Welcome to Not Real Art, Siri's favorite art and culture podcast with your boy Man One.
And sitting across from me is Sourdough.
So I have a confession.
Yeah?
I went to Burning Man.
Oh, man. All right. Let's hear it.
You don't care.
I don't care. So I'm so over it. I'm so over it.
Over it, period, or just over me wanting to talk about it?
Both.
Fair point.
How much have we talked about it on this podcast?
We did a
We did the
pre-Burning
pre.
Man.
Oh, right. So this is the post.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we talked about it before,
Yeah.
it was about really my expectation
Right.
of it because I'd been, orbiting the
Right.
opportunity for years.
Right.
So I had all these preconceived ideas, and so I thought it would be interesting to do a podcast,
Yeah.
prior to going, take love, be on the record about what I thought I was about to see and do. And
Right.
now post Burning Man, what was the reality,
Right.
right?
Well, at least our listeners are going to, or they missed the Burning Man high you had when you got back.
The Burning Man high.
Yeah, because now it's a little more cerebral, I believe.
Well, look, here's the thing about Burning Man that kind of what you're getting at is at its core, it's a camping experience.
Yeah.
Right. It's a camping experience.
Okay.
And when I can only speak for myself, but when I spend several days in a row outside,
Yeah.
I come back generally feeling high,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get that.
especially when the weather's good.
Right.
And the weather was great. Last year, apparently, Burning Man, the weather was horrendous because it was super hot. It was like 110, 115.
Yeah.
This year was, I think, anywhere from 80 to 95.
Yeah.
So the weather was good.
Yeah.
And I was basically camping for a week, which
Yeah.
camping for me is one of my favorite things to do. But, it's one thing to hear about something and think about something. It's another thing to do something.
Sure.
And I think that most of my expectations were pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I was wrong about a couple of very big things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you remember, I was sort of on my soapbox about can't fucking believe I'm spending all of this time, energy, and money to go in the middle of nowhere with 60,000 other people.
Right.
Because historically, for me, I love to camp, but I love to camp alone.
Sure. Yeah.
If I'm spending that much time, energy, and money, I don't want to see anybody.
Right.
And here I am going to be with 50, 60,000 other people that I don't know. And that doesn't sound fun.
Right.
That's the point that I missed. That was totally wrong because it is all about the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even about the art.
Right.
It's about the people because there is nothing without the people. Right. There, 56, well, this year, 70,000 people show up in this desert, in this the dried up bed of an ancient lake, show up and build what they call a city, Black Rock City.
Yeah.
To exist for 7 days. And the economy is a barter economy. The only thing you can buy there is ice. You can't spend money on anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole culture, the economy, everything is about the people. So that's the thing I didn't really get or appreciate. So the question gets to well, do you like the people? Right? What was your experience like vis-a-vis the people?
Yeah.
And so, it's funny because you know me long enough to know that, you won't be surprised to hear me say that, of course, as I'm there, I'm trying to understand it.
Sure.
I'm trying to analyze it and I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to break it down because what annoys me, right,
Yeah.
is when people go, "Oh, it's beyond words. You can't understand. You just got to go. I
Right.
can't. It's just, It's like, fuck you. I guess if you're 25,
Right. Yeah, of course.
you might feel that way. But
Yeah.
I'm 48.
Yeah.
Okay. Takes a lot to change my life at this point. Okay.
A lot, yeah.
A lot. 25 doesn't take so much to change your life.
Right.
You know? So I spent a lot of time trying to understand and put into words so that I could explain to people what it's like. Because you see that's the other thing too, right? The photos are out there. People can see the photos and the whole thing. And the photos at the end of the day, right, are one-dimensional kind of representation,
Sure.
of what it is. And so I was able to kind of explain it a couple different ways, right? So first of all, if P.T. Barnum, Salvador Dali, and Pink Floyd could have a love child in the desert, it might be Burning Man. Okay. Those are the basic ingredients. Like if you took the DNA of P.T. Barnum, the DNA of Salvador Dali, and the DNA of Pink Floyd, put it in a fucking test tube, mix it up, grew the baby, it'd probably be Burning Man, right? So that's sets the stage, right? Like that really, I think, does a good, and I've actually said that to several burners, people who have been there and going for years, and they actually are like, that's pretty good. I see that. Okay. The other thing I say about Burning Man is that if you like camping in potentially extreme environments, you might like Burning Man. If you like art, you might like Burning Man.
Mm-hmm.
If you like music, particularly electronic dance music, EDM, you might like Burning Man.
Yeah.
If you like costume play, you might like Burning Man. If you like being greeted with a hug by a stranger whom you've never met before, you might like Burning Man. And lastly, if you like white people, you might like Burning Man. Now, here's the catch.
Yeah.
If you don't like any of those things, any one of those things, you're probably not going to like Burning Man, and you might be a racist. I'm just saying. But those are the various aspects that I really took away. And I looked at some of the numbers, right? Yes, it is 70% Caucasian.
Yeah.
And, the balance is whatever.
Yeah.
Very international. Ran into a ton of people outside of the continental U.S.
All over the world.
South America, Europe, Asia. And, so that was interesting to see. And it is very challenging to get in and out of there, right?
Right.
If I'm and it's the rite of passage, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? But it's not. But if I'm the founders and the leaders and organizers of this event, I would be very concerned about a couple of things. One is the lack of diversity. I would be trying to figure out how to balance the mix of people that go. Just because. I mean, why the fuck not? You know what I mean? It's a cool, creative, fun experience that I think any creative, cerebral person would appreciate, in spite of their ethnic background or whatever, right? And then the other thing I would worry about if I was a leader and try to address is this perception that it's all rich white people, right? Because what I saw doesn't align with that. I would say that a solid 50% of people were, dare I say, working middle class who probably saved their money all year to go do this one trip. They pack up the RV, they pack up the scooter and the kids or whatever, and they go, and this is their big trip for the year.
Right.
And by the way, there is a whole section for families with kids, right?
Yeah, that bugged me out.
It's like wild, right? It's literally called Kidsville. And by the way, my 6-year-old daughter would love Burning Man because it is made for a kid. It is made the level of kind of fantasy and imagination and creativity is perfect for kids and adults on drugs.
Right.
So if I'm the founders and leaders, I would try to address the diversity issue, and I would try to address the perception that It's a bunch of rich white people. Of course, there are rich white people there. You see them coming in on their fucking helicopters, you know?
Mhm.
But that is what I think is the makeup of the Black Rock City is not too dissimilar from the makeup of this country. Because like the 1% is there, but it's 1%.
Yeah.
You know, right? The majority are there on limited means. They've saved their pennies and they're there because they want to be there. They go every year. They are passionate, you know, about it. You know, people have asked me, well, like, what was it like? And I sort of quickly say, it's stupid.
Right.
It's stupid, it's ridiculous, and it's ludicrous in the best ways.
And that's why people go.
Because it is, the fact that anybody would put so much time and energy into something so ephemeral is actually kind of mind-blowing. And, you know, how they do it, why they do it, I guess those are all personal situations. But if you weren't there, you didn't see it. And that's kind of what's amazing. So, like, let me give you an example. So, one night we were riding our bikes, and I have to say, for me personally, one of the highlights of going was riding my bike in the middle of the night across the playa. It just feels otherworldly. Like, you know, the stars are out, the moon's out, you're out there on that desert floor riding a bike with no one around.
Yeah.
And you can see the lights in the distance, you know, because you have to light your bikes. Everyone's bike, you know, you crash. But it has a very sort of Tron-like video game-like kind of experience, you know, affect. But just riding your bike out there, for me anyway, was just very, very pleasant, very, very satisfying, you know?
Yeah.
So we're riding our bikes one night, and somebody says, "What's that?" And I look up,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this swarming, amorphous, shape-shifting blob of color in the air.
UFOs.
Right. You're like, what the hell is that? Well, of course, you know, 10 seconds later, you're like, gotta be drones, you know? And so for 10 minutes, seriously, 10 minutes, we watch this dance of drones in the sky, shape-shifting, choreographed, whatever. And then about 10 minutes in, they are then swarming together and then land in their nest. I found out later that it was 600 drones that we had seen.
Yeah.
Now, I also found out later that same artist added 200 drones every night, so that by the end of the week, there were 1,400 drones.
Jesus. This guy.
Flying in the sky. Right? And he apparently only did it once or twice a night. So if you didn't see it, you didn't see it. If you weren't there, you did. And we could have easily have missed it.
Right.
But we just saw it. You just happened to see it, like, holy shit. And to me, that was still absolutely one of the highlights of, you know. So it is, look, and I mean what I say. If you don't like camping, you're probably not going to like it. If you don't like art or music and that, you're probably not going to like it. As a creative person, I feel like any creative person who, you know, is thoughtful about their art or their creativity is going to get something out of it and appreciate it for what it is. Is it going to change your life? And is it going to, you know, are you going to want to go back again and again? That's a personal thing. You know, for me, you know, will I go back? Yes. Will I go back every year? No. Did it change my life? No, but I'm 48. It takes a lot more to change my life than, you know, if I was 25, I probably would be like, oh yeah, life changing, you know? So, yeah. So, I mean, you know, it was worth the effort.
Right. Well, I had no intentions or desire to ever go, but I think you might have convinced me.
Seriously, why?
I want to sell ice. 70,000 people to sell ice to?
Oh my God.
It sounds amazing.
Well, you know, of course, like in any capitalistic society, they have cornered the market. There's a monopoly on the ice. You can't break in.
Oh, I know.
Like
it's run by white people.
There's the Arctic zone, right?
White people own the ice.
That's right.
I know that.
And the MCs have the other ice.
Right.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. I mean, look, I got to go in kind of the best way in that I went in with a friend who'd been going many times. We stayed. My camp was Camp Corny. My friend, who you know also, Paul Anthony, has been going for several years. He started building this camp. It was a good way to go because I didn't have to worry about too much, you know, sort of show up, bring my gear, do what I got to do. But just follow the leader, really. You know, now the thing about it is that everybody pitches in. You can't just go and do nothing. It is you have to work, you have to contribute, you have to give, you have to support the camp that we're in, Camp Corny. It's a big camp. I mean, 2 40-foot containers of gear show up
Right.
on a semi, they get dropped into place. It's quite interesting. So you want to sell ice at Burning Man.
What else is there to sell? Nothing else.
Well, you have to barter. What would you barter? So let me break it down, because each camp
Right.
is a theme. Some camps have a theme of meditation, and you go there to meditate,
Right.
for example. Some camps have a theme for breakfast. They're serving breakfast. Right. Some camps are like our camp, which is like a dance club. It's a day club from 2 to 6. Some camps there was a camp you could go get your hair washed. That's what they did. That was their gift. You'd go there, you'd get your hair washed. Yeah. So the question is what do what was your gift? Now, personally, I was expecting a lot more pagan orgies and free sex.
Yeah.
Really disappointing in that capacity.
Right.
It's there.
Yeah.
You got to go find it.
Right.
But guess what? A single male is not getting into the orgy dome.
No.
You got to bring someone to play with at the,
You got to bring something to barter.
Barter, that's right. You got to pimp out your friends.
Pimps and hoes.
So you'd have to come up with a theme.
Yeah.
For your camp.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't go. It's too much, man. Too much to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's why it's great for, young people or rich people.
Yeah.
Because they can, they have the time and or the money to
Right.
make it happen.
Right.
But again, I go back to, majority of the people that I saw, I think were middle class.
Yeah.
Saving their money to go because that's their jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
Everything you just described to me,
Mm-hmm.
if I closed my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't tell me where it was at,
Mm-hmm.
I might have said Disney World.
Except for the orgy dome.
It's there. You just gotta find it. Just gotta find it.
Right. Walt built in an orgy dome at Disneyland. That's
The Epcot Center. That's what it used to be.
right.
But, I mean, I get it. I think it is the experience, like everything else.
Mm.
No matter how good something is, whether it's art related or some kind of trip or whatever, it is about the people. That's what makes it. You know, anything.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's if you're open to the experience and that's what you want to do, awesome. But people want to do different things. It just doesn't sound appealing to me. It doesn't sound like that's something I want to do. I mean, I love traveling. I love going to the outdoors. I obviously love art, but it just doesn't seem like the experience that I want to do.
Didn't you say though that one of your homegirls goes and loves it?
Oh yeah, no. I've discovered this year that there's some people that I know who love it.
Mm. What do they love about it?
I think it's the free nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
This chick's all of a sudden posting her quote unquote art on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
where she's fucking naked in the middle of the forest type of shit now.
Right.
And that wasn't her art before, years ago.
Right.
And now all of a sudden she's on this whole thing nature and that's probably part of the reason why I wouldn't want to go, because I see where some of these people take it and what they're doing with it, and that's good for them, but it's very hippie-ish is kind of what I feel. And the friends that I know that dig it,
mm-hmm.
that's the part about those people that I don't like is their hippie-ishness.
Okay, so let's drill down on that. What is it about hippie-ishness?
Yeah.
Or is it hippie-ishness?
Yeah, I guess.
That rubs you the wrong way. What is it about hippies that you don't like?
Right. So I think it's about this love, freedom, and my body, and I'm one with nature and all that shit. And when they're a woman being like that, then they take it to the next level of, this is the ultra feminism and you have to be down with that to be woke. And like, it's like, come on, like you're taking it too far there. And then you see other aspects of their life and they're all fucked up.
Right.
Or other parts of their life and maybe they're not fucked up, but it doesn't jive. And you're just like, it feels like a bullshit
Interesting.
thing.
So the disconnect and the hypocrisy.
It's like a weekend warrior thing for a lot of these people that I know.
Right.
That's kind of what it feels like because they're not really living that style.
Right.
They're just doing it for Burning Man. They do it once a year. And so that's their weekend warrior and they do it once a year. And that's cool. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on them. If they want to do it, it's fine. But
right. Well, so that was the thing. That was another thing, right? That, this idea that, I go there and I'm somebody different or I can be someone else or I can,
Sure. Yeah.
And I guess that's great for certain people or whatever, if that's what you need to do or whatever. But couple things. One is nobody gives a fuck who you are or what you do at Burning Man.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
That's why you can be probably a rich entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you like to go because no one cares.
Right.
Or you can be, it doesn't matter. Status just is irrelevant. There's a different hierarchy there on some level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, for myself, I was exactly who I am there.
Mm-hmm.
The difference for me was that I didn't have to worry about the kids. I didn't have to worry about, the wife. I didn't have to worry about work.
Right.
Like, I truly was free from responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it wasn't that I was free to be someone else.
Right.
I was free to be free.
Right.
And have fun.
Right.
Free to have fun with no responsibilities.
Exactly.
That was nice.
Yeah.
No cell service,
Right.
Totally unplugged. I appreciated that, But I did nothing there that I wouldn't have done here.
Mm-hmm.
I did wear a tutu on Tuesday.
Oh,
it was Tutu Tuesday. I won't wear a tutu here. It is not Tutu Tuesday on Tuesday.
Hippie.
So absolutely embrace the cosplay part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm down to play here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Given the situation,
Yeah.
But that's what I appreciate. I appreciated the lack of responsibility, the lack of, and the enhanced freedom to just have fun. But I mean, one night, because I got there on a Friday morning to help set up camp. It opened Sunday at noon. I left on Wednesday for my daughter's birthday on Thursday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I went out late on Sunday night. I'm sorry. I'm on Sunday night and Monday night. Tuesday night, I laid low. I think I got 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to go home tired and haggard and,
Right.
Right. Again, 48 years old, you manage, your energy differently.
That's
or
right.
whatever. Right. It feels like there's so much happened since I went to Burning Man.
Right.
I, would have loved to have discussed this the day after I got back because it would have been more vivid and more vibrant. I'd probably been more, entertaining about it. I would have had that post Burning Man high. I think, in terms of this show and talking about it and not real art, it absolutely is spot on for not real art. It is absolutely not real art material.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, I fully believe that for any creative person, any artist should go once to check it out. Because there's going to be something that you take back that's positive.
Sure. Yeah.
And for an older person, right, who maybe, isn't an artist or whatever, but just likes to do weird shit, that it's what they call now a bucket list item. It's okay, you should check it out once.
Yeah.
Are you going to want to go back every year? Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe you will. I don't know. Some, everyone's different.
Yeah.
My daughter's birthday will always be smack dab in the middle of Burning Man. You know what I mean? So I'm never going to choose a party over my daughter's birthday.
Until she's 18 and you take her with you.
By the way, here's the truth. I will be happy to take Eden to Burning Man as soon as, it makes sense. Logistically, I want her, I don't want her to be uncomfortable or whatever. And I don't have to deal with her being uncomfortable in that situation because it's, it is extreme, but she would love it.
Yeah.
The kids would it really is built for kids.
Right. Yeah.
They should have a kids day only, which I guess, parents bring their kids. It is kids day all the time, but Like it would be fun to just sort of flip it. You know, like 1 week is for the adults and you can, go naked and whatever and do whatever it is you're going to do. But then like the flip next week is just for the kids, because the kids absolutely will love it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think, talking about the art of it again, I think it's about the experience, right? Because I saw they try to do some exhibition like recently with all this, Burning Man art and stuff.
Yes, at the Smithsonian, I believe.
Yeah, but it's out of context.
It's out of context. That's right.
So it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, let me speak to that because you're 100% correct. The context, the environment,
right,
is epic.
Yeah,
it is otherworldly. You do feel like I could be anywhere, like a Star Wars. Like I feel like I'm in a scene in the original Star Wars movie, right. Or something, and that definitely informs the artwork, the costumes, because like there's a whole Mad Max thing, obviously.
Yeah,
it's a whole steampunk thing, obviously. But then there's everything in between, the level, because it's kind of like a blank canvas, anything goes. But having the scale of the earth, because I mean, you have the sky as your ceiling,
right? You
have this massive flat desert floor as your base.
Mm-hmm.
You have the mountains surrounding you as your, frame or your parameter, your perimeter. And it's expansive.
Yeah.
It's expansive. It expands, being in nature like that for an extended period of time opens big, wide open spaces, causes your mind and your consciousness to expand.
Right.
All right. And that informs everyone's approach to being there, I think, and certainly when it comes to the art, the scale of the art is quite epic. I mean, hell, every year for the last several years, there's been this artist who has been building piece by piece a 747 art car. Now it's classified as an art car. There's this whole category of art there called art cars.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be permitted and have permission. You have to get, selected.
Right.
And you go there. The Mayan Warrior is a very famous art car out of Mexico City, apparently funded by a drug kingpin cartel out of Mexico.
Yeah.
And the fucking Mayan Warrior, dude, is amazing. It's fucking amazing by any measure.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And that's what's wild too. Like at night, you'll ride your bike and you'll go to the Mayan Warrior and there's like the craziest party going on. If it were a nightclub, it would be the hippest, coolest, craziest nightclub wherever you're at. Yeah. Right? You're there dancing or doing whatever you're doing for a while. You get on your bike and then you ride somewhere else until you see some light. Here's some, you go over there. And there's another massive party going on, world-class nightclub, crazy thing. And then you do that again and again. And then, oh, what's this? Go over here. Oh my God, it's a 747 parked in the middle of the desert with a dance floor on the wings and a dance floor on the top.
Right.
And 25 rows of speakers underneath the fuselage, And some artist, for whatever reason, just thought it'd be cool to build a fucking plane, and each year it gets bigger and bigger,
right.
So you can't help but be entertained by the audacity of it all, and, if taking the drugs out of it, taking all that stuff, like it really is what some might say, good, clean fun. Like the fact that, somebody wants to build a fucking airplane out in the middle of nowhere so people can dance on it.
Right.
Like that's kind of ridiculous in the best way. It's like,
but then I think I sent you this article like a week after it was over or whatever, or like that plane was still.
Oh, it's still sitting there. Oh yeah, no, because this was being long gone. Like,
so it's like a big issue now. It's like the guy's littering the fucking desert now.
Well, because the permit, the BLM permit, Bureau of Land Management issues the permit, and it is very strict. Like they have to leave no trace.
Yeah.
And that fucking plane is a trace.
Oops.
Oops.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the status is now, but there's a whole economy. The other thing that's interesting in Reno, which is the last city, a lot of people just fly into Reno and you drive in from there a couple of hours. But there's a whole economy that has emerged in Reno just for Burning Man. Yeah. And so like the guy so in our camp, the 2 40-foot containers that got delivered. Okay. The guy that owns the company that delivered the containers.
Yeah.
His whole company is specifically dedicated to the storage and transportation of Burning Man materials, Burning Man exhibits, so on and so forth. So that plane, I don't know if that plane's going to end up there.
Right.
But and this guy's hugely successful, businessman because he saw this opportunity because, the things can only be there for basically that time. Once Burning Man is done, it's got to get out of there.
Right.
And, some people show up, a week or two actually the crew that makes Black Rock City, the organization, the people that are on the crew there. I mean, apparently they're at the desert basically for months, managing that. So the crew out there is, apparently out there for months, preparing the layout of the city.
Right.
And many of those art exhibits are started, days and weeks before the festival.
Sure.
But I mean, several of the things aren't even finished until, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. While the man was done when I showed up basically Friday night. And by that, I mean, he was illuminated. He was built and he was illuminated. But the base that he was on was not finished. The famous temple that they build every year, this artist builds every year, it was not done until like Tuesday or something. So anyway, it's an exciting, kind of a cool, bizarre, weird, wild, amazing event.
Yeah.
If we'll move on to other subjects, you are you are so not into this subject. So
well, here's the question I have now for you.
Yeah, sure.
So, are you a burner?
I'm a burnout. I know that. So what is a burner, right? A burner is somebody that I guess goes to Burning Man, has gone to Burning Man, or goes to Burning Man.
I guess I'm asking like...
Here's what I'll tell you. Okay. So people that have not gone to Burning Man are called virgins. Okay.
Yeah.
I was a virgin going in. Okay. Yeah. Now, when you get to the gate, okay, and they check, because some people wait. I mean, you wait hours to get in this fucking thing. Now, we got in there Friday morning early. And so we only had to wait a couple hours to get in because we were there early to set up.
Yeah.
But you get to the gate, they come on, they want to know if any virgins are on board, right?
Okay.
So you're virgin, come with us, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not, made to do this, but they ask you, okay, if you're a virgin, you don't want to be a virgin anymore, you got to make dust angels, right? You got to lay down in the dust and you make a fucking angel, right?
Okay.
And you ring a bell. Like you fucking ring a bell, we're going to do the angel, and then you're officially in, right? Okay. And only virgins have to do the angel. So initiation, right?
Yeah.
So I got off, I did my angel, I rang the bell, and I'm like suddenly not a virgin anymore. I'm like, but then of course people, as you're there, as you meet people, they'll say, oh, have you been here? How many burns is this for you?
Okay.
Oh, this is my 8th, or this is, oh, well, I'm a virgin. Oh my God, you're a virgin. Now, just because I'm not a virgin, does that make me a burner? I know it's an interesting debate. I feel like you have to go more than once to be a burner. Like you have to be an active participant to be a burner,
Yeah. I guess the philosophy. Are you down with the philosophy of it,
Look, if the philosophy is about the 10 sort of attributes, okay, and I won't have all of them, but like there are 10 attributes that make up Burning Man.
I guess what I'm saying is like, just would you go back? Would you do it again? Would you, try to get people to go? I think if you're not a burner, it would mean like, I wouldn't do it again, or I didn't like my experience, or I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Right. Well, then I must be a burner.
Yeah.
Because I would recommend it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I am trying to get my wife to go.
Oh, really?
And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because, well, I hate having such cool experiences and not being able to share them.
It, right.
Okay.
Of course.
That's the basic level.
Yeah.
But I also know my wife. And the thing that stops my wife from wanting to go see this is bullshit like the dust or the dirt. Right.
Angels.
And that's so right.
Making angels.
Don't tell her about that. But that's so not the fucking point. Like if we were on this bike ride that first night, I remember when we took off on our bikes and we came out of the city, if you will, and you sort of drop in at the playa, so to speak, and it's pitch dark, save for the lights on the bikes, you know, and you drop in, and it very much has this feeling of entering a video game, like a Tron, like you're dropping into the playboard on Tron, you know, and you're pedaling, and it's dark, it's midnight, it's cool, it's beautiful. You see all this art and lights in the distance. You ride up to an art car with a party. You go over here, there's some other crazy explosion. You go over there, there's some 7 cars stacked on top of each other and people are climbing them, you know, and you just realize that, like, this is just fun. You know what I mean? It's just good fun. And, like, of course my wife would like this, you know what I mean? If she could get here, if you could get past the rite of passage and the dirt and everything, right?
Right.
So that's the thing. And so I would absolutely want to recommend it. I would absolutely want to bring certain people. Sure. Like I wouldn't like if I didn't think my wife would actually at the end of the day enjoy herself, I wouldn't want to bring her.
Right.
You know, I have buddies that I would absolutely not bring to this fucking thing because they would be miserable and they would make me miserable. Right.
Exactly.
You know, because it gets back to the people, right? I mean, like who are you hanging with? And I'm looking in this brochure here because you get there are like these 10 guiding principles of Burning Man. Yeah. And I can't remember them off the top of my head, all of them. I thought it might be in this book here. But they are things like inclusion, gifting, sustainability. I'm like I said, I'm forgetting them. Yeah. Right. Very kind of utopian, as you would say, hippie. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But incredibly positive and aspirational. Sure. You know what I mean? If we lived in a world where more people were gifting, helping others, giving back, leaving no trace, you know, it'd be a better world. Right. Right. So there are many things that about Burning Man that I think are very positive and life affirming and good to be inspired by. Sure. But I'm also not buying into the bullshit about this being some utopian kind of experience because there's nothing. Here's the thing. If you don't have water and you have to bring in your water, that's dystopian. It's not utopian. You know, if there's no food to be had, if there's no water to be had, it's not utopian. It's dystopian.
Right. Just don't tell.
That's right. So, you know, you got to get past some of the goofy, you know, hype stuff. Yeah. But I do want to say this, and I'll say this so we can wrap up. But like, I met some amazing people. I really did. Yeah. And primarily in our camp, you know, in Paul's camp, Camp Corny. And anybody that's listening to this can check it out at campcorny.com. The people, and because, you know, we're with this group all the time setting up the camp, and especially the core team that went in to set up the camp. Right. Were just great people. You know, a lot of them, I was like the old guy, you know, a lot of them, most of them were in their late 20s and early 30s, but warm, friendly, funny, smart, creative, hardworking people that I was, you know, grateful to meet and hang out with and develop friendships with. Thinking of my friend Mole, that's his playa name, Mole. I won't give you his real name, but playa name. Smart motherfucker. This guy engineers computer chips for, like, you know, this fancy company out of Portland, Oregon. Okay. And he and his wife, they've been to like 10 burns or something. Oh, wow. You know, like this is their thing. And we just had a ball. We just had so much fun. They were just great people. And we're, you know, we'll obviously, you know, I think still stay in touch and sort of. So he's probably going to listen to this podcast because he said he wanted to hear what I was going to have to say after the burn. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, the net is right. It always boils down to the people. Yeah. You walk away, hopefully having had, you know, very positive interactions. And when it does get tough, it's that camaraderie that gets you through. And actually the rite of passage of any struggle, right, brings people together and bonds you in a way, because you can later look back, assuming you live through it. Exactly. You get back and you laugh. You go, oh boy, well, that was tough, but we did it. Exactly. You know, you laugh about it. You know, But well, with that, we can sign off.
Well, one last question.
Sure.
What was your playa name?
I didn't have one.
No?
No playa name. No playa name.
So what did people...
I didn't even, because here's the thing. I didn't go with sourdough.
That's what I was going to ask you. You didn't go
No,
with
I
sourdough?
didn't go with sourdough.
Oh.
You know why?
Why?
Because sourdough's my name here. It's not my name on the playa.
No one asked?
Well, you know what it is, there's a whole like culture around a playa name, right? And the ethos of it. And it's like people who try to contrive it or make something up. It's almost like one of those things that somebody has to give you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if somebody says, "Oh, you're Man One,"
yeah,
you know, or Man whatever, it's like that's your name. Like somebody gives it to you, it's discovered.
Gotcha.
Versus, and I heard horror stories of like people like trying to show up and like, "Oh,
I'm so and so.
I'm Diamond."
Like, no,
you're not Diamond. You're fucking Rube. You know. So yeah, it is. And while I think we talked about that a lot and laughed about that a lot, and it was most of the people I was with had playa names. I never got one, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is, but I wasn't going to put sourdough out there because that's my, first of all, sourdough is precious to me.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how hard I worked to fucking get that name?
Yeah, I know. And
then to actually get to a point in my life where I actually felt comfortable fucking coming out with it and saying, okay, yeah, call me sourdough. Like that's not a playa thing.
It's not a playa thing.
Yeah. That's a civilization thing.
Right. Right.
Which is ironic because, of course, I earned it in the middle of fucking nowhere. So
there you
whatever.
Go.
All right, listen, enough of this for our listeners. I want to, of course, remind everybody to give us some social media love at Not Real Art Official on Instagram.
Yep.
Of course, they can always call us and leave us damning messages on our toll-free hotline at 833 Not Real.
Before you get that number out.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start using this phone number, by the way.
Okay.
Just like publicly, maybe when I do certain things, I'm going to post this phone number as my number.
Okay. Yeah.
So just give it out.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just going to give it out.
833 Not Real. 833-668-7325.
There you go. That'll be the new hotline.
Tell us what you're thinking. What's on your mind? All right, Man One.
Cool.
Peace.
Later.